The work that I made for the exhibition is entitled "A Love So Vast It Crushes Like a Mace." In the exhibition, In The Offing, there's a definition that's paired with it, which is one of two, the first being a more objective one, looking over the sea, the horizon, a second being more an emotional one, so things to come and things that are in the future that are getting closer, whether that's a positive or a negative. So I felt in my work I wanted to highlight the more emotional element, the more personal element too, because I guess in the past 2 years or so in my life, things like mortality and these more very personable things came into my life where they weren't there before, and I felt this exhibition was a great way for me to put that into the work and to express that in a way that could hopefully link with other people and what they were going through as well, just in general, and they could hopefully take something from that. Sound features primarily in what I do as a musician. Visuals often interlink with that in the form of music videos. I shoot all my music videos, I direct them and edit them. So I came into this process very much a musician first, and I still think of myself as such. But I think with this piece in particular, I wanted to try and do something that was more narrative based, where the music wasn't the crutch of the rhythm of the piece visually, but more so the poem, the poetry and the cadence of the words. I made it in the north, in Harrogate primarily, in a little B&B that had no pictures on the wall or anything, which was honestly out of circumstance. But I knew the intention I wanted for the piece was one that was raw, that didn't have as much sort of slickness to it, which was one camera, one person. So it was more so, I knew exactly what intention I wanted, and where I shot it and how I shot it was more so a matter of convenience, because who I shot it with lived up north. So the main intention of that was basically something that was raw and direct, more so than what people typically would expect from a film project at a contemporary exhibition, I suppose. The piece itself was inspired in terms of the personal elements by my great aunt, who lived in Clacton-on-Sea in Essex, which is usually a seaside place that I think represents almost a space in between, which is almost what Mark was expressing in his work. It's a place that has seen quite a bit of tumultuous economic history, especially recently in the modern time. And I have fond memories of going to Clacton-on-Sea and going to like the two-piece slot machines and all those sort of smells and sights. But for me in the piece, that's more so an addition to the emotional elements in the film. It's more so the emotions come first and the seaside scenery comes secondary as an embellishment of that. Margate to me, as of right now, as somebody who lives outside of Margate, I see it as definitely a place that's constantly moving and changing. There's friction might exist in the town in relation to things, but I think conversations are always going on, and it's a very active place on many different levels, which I value anywhere. And I think the infrastructure here creatively is definitely a positive, because it's not like that everywhere. So all those things mixing together is bound to make fascinating and interesting work as shown in this exhibition.